Welcome everybody this afternoon to Bedford High School for Division I lacrosse action here between the Bedford Bulldogs and the visiting Souhegan Sabres. I'm Corey Munster Tiger, joined here by Roger Howe in the booth. Roger, great to have you with me today.
Indeed, yeah, great opportunity here to get back together with you.
Absolutely.
Off the field.
Roger and I have played old man lacrosse for several years, and it's a good chance for us to team up here in the booth. The Bulldogs come in with a record of 6-1 with their only loss against Pinkerton, and the Sabres have yet to win. They are 0-4 as these two teams squared off on Tuesday and a 15-5 result going Bedford's way. So we have the opening face-off here as Anthony Garrett takes the face-off away from Joe Michael for Bedford, and the Sabres will go on to the attack here. Up top with Lawhorn, he waits for his offensive substitutes to come on. Connor Holland. And it looks like Garrett will come back on. Not sure if there was a stick substitution there, if he has a face-off stick and perhaps changes to another. Garrett goes one-on-one. He's blocked up there nicely by Will Kramer. Gets the ball on the ground. Ground ball goes to the Sabres, though, and they find Holland back up top. I don't have a 22 on my roster. Do you, Roger? Who's 22 for the Sabres?
Sabres, I do not have that, but I will check it out.
All right. We'll find out who that is. Apologies so far in the opening minutes here. Ball's behind with Daniel Kwan. He looks back up top. Spins it near side to Garrett. 22 is Will Boyle. One-on-one here, Connor Holland. Defended well by Joe Michael. Back up top. And spun near side to Riley Lawhorn. Goes right, he dodges and pulls the trigger, finds the back of the net. So the Sabres go up early, 1-0 on Lawhorn's goal.
Yeah, I did a game earlier in the season with the Sabres against Derryfield, and that's pretty much their offense right there. They try to isolate Lawhorn with the other midfielders up there, Holland and Garant, and they try to power him through the alley, and he does a lot of outside shooting, so the Bulldogs need to be aware of that.
So, you get the offense to shoot from outside. You rely on your goalie play back there with Matt Desmond. Hopefully come up with a couple of saves, and you slide hard early from your defense, likely coming from the crease. We go back to the face-off now. Kramer in tight, but Anthony Garrett comes away with that. Gets it quickly to Holland. Holland, they haven't gone in the box yet, so not quite an over in the back. So the offensive team has 10 seconds to step it into their offensive box once they gain possession. On the offensive side of the field, that errant pass is going to go out of bounds, so Quinlan Kerr will bring it in from the end line. Kerr up quick to Burke, Brady Burke. Burke up to Kramer. Kramer now steps it into the offensive box, and they get it behind with Greer. Greer finds a cutting steal. He hits the pipe, though. That doesn't go in. Unfortunate break there for the Bulldogs early, but some sloppy play on the clear. They do get it to their goalie now, Nathan Fritz. Fritz's pass is going to go out of bounds, though, and the Bulldogs will get possession on a tough ride. So near side with Brady Burke. He steps it on. He goes over as he has backup from one of the midfielders stepping in the substitution box. So put it into the offensive box and give it to Max Maniello. They'll wait for their substitutions to come on. Looks like they're in a wide open circle offense at this point. Pulling the defenders way out. Maniello goes one-on-one righty. Dumps in the middle. He has Arbusto. Arbusto dodges a couple people, pulls lefty, and finds the net. 1-1. Quick answer by the Bulldogs.
This is what hurt the Sabres in that game against Derryfield, Corey. They had so many unforced errors that they could never really get a flow going. And already today, there's been at least two, and you count the goalie clear there, possibly three errors in getting their flow going. And that's where the Bulldogs can actually capitalize here.
Yeah, Coach Bertrand's going to want them to take their time on the clear. They do have 20 seconds as per high school lacrosse rules to get it over midfield, and then 10 seconds to get into the offensive box. But he's going to want them to be a little bit more patient back there. They do have an extra man when they are clearing. and therefore they can take advantage of it. We go back to the face-off. Joe Michael comes up with the ground ball, spins away from pressure. Athletic move by the quarterback. Looks for his substitutions from the box and gets it back to Maniello. And we'll sub out. We have Tegan Steele on the near side now. Or excuse me, Magnus Steele, pardon me. Tegan is his sister. My bad. Maniello steps it in. Magnus's sister played some soccer with my daughter early on, so that's why her name is in my mind. But it is Magnus Steele who dishes behind to Greer. Greer's pass is picked off. Nice pick by Anthony Garrett. He gets it to his teammate, and they're going to be up and out. Brett Bouvier gets it over midfield. Nobody goes to him. You know, I'd look to score right there, young man. But he's looking away, doesn't want the ball, and he's getting pressured heavily by Will Enners. Gets the ball on the ground. And we have a play on. Bedford comes up with possession. So we have a push on White. Bedford in their home whites gets called for that infraction. And it will go to the Sabres with possession. Dish down low now, and we have a goal by Will Boyle. Quick restart there, as they should take advantage of it. They had numbers on the near side, and they were able to cash in as Will Boyle puts the Sabres up 2-1.
So slow changes there by the Bulldogs to get back on defense and get numbers in. Lawhorn saw Boyle on the goalie's right-hand side. It was really actually an easy play, easy one for them to score on.
Yeah, it sure was. And honestly, you want to have quick substitutions on defense, and you could take your time on offense, but that's really inexcusable by the midfielders for the Bedford Bulldogs. They need to get in and out and cover a far side. That odd man situation is tough to control back here on that near side, and it led to the goal by Boyle. Back to the face-off X. We have a procedure on White, it looks like
White, yeah.
As the Sabres pick up the ball. The Bulldogs will go back on defense. 8 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Early action. And the Sabres are up 2-1. Good dodges here by Connor Holland, but he gets swarmed once he gets right into the crease area. Ground ball now gets kicked around, and Riley Lawhorn comes away with it. Holland looks around, realizes they do have all 6 people on, and they get into their 2-3-1 set. That 2-3-1 describes the formation the Sabres are in. 2 midfielders up top, 3 across, around the goal line extended, and 1 behind. Boyle now up top. Lawhorn.
This is a good matchup here for the day to watch. Enners against Lawhorn.
Yeah, Enners, the senior long stick midfielder, has done well to dominate opposing players in the defensive half of their areas here. He's got good
bump.
Yeah. Riley Lawhorn runs through that check. Back to Holland. They look low. They have Boyle.
Yep.
Back up top. They're looking for those matchups. So Lawhorn goes, draws the slide. His shot hits the defender in front, Quinlan Kerr. And he doesn't get credit for the save, but he was out of the crease, picked up the ground ball, and then went through the crease. That is an infraction. So that will be a turnover. Unfortunate play there as he ate the shot. Quick cut from behind there by Daniel Kwan. Excellent job. Caught it lefty. Nobody was guarding him. He spun quickly and scored the goal. So the Sabres now go up 3-1 with 6:42 to play in the first.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that Kerr got called for that. The ball hit him on that shot, and we'd be going the other way right now. But, kudos to the Sabres for picking right up on that fast whistle and getting it right in there.
Yeah, second time in a row they've taken advantage of that restart, as this time Kwan was able to cash on that cut from behind. So back to the face-off X. Looks like the Bulldogs have Owen Christopher in there now for the face-off against Anthony Garrett. Christopher keeps it on the ground. Still no possession. Looks like the Sabres have it, though, with Christopher Whedon, but his ball gets checked away, and Maniello comes up with it. Steps into the offensive end. He's checked there by Brett Bouvier. Drawing the long stick midfielder. As the senior midfielder Maniello gets it behind. Greer looks to get it into the middle. His pass is tipped. We have Evan Schmidt over there battling for the ground ball. Does nicely to get it into his stick and regain possession. Toscano back up top to Kramer. Kramer looks to go one-on-one on his short stick midfielder. Dumps back up top, but that pass is nearly stolen. It is on the ground, and Maniello will come away with the ground ball. We do have a push, though. Looked like we had a push on the ground ball on the Bulldogs, so the Sabres will get it again on another 50-50 ball that the Bulldogs aren't able to take advantage of. They did have possession, but that was taken away. Now Evan Schmidt on the ride, got the ball out, but couldn't corral the ground ball, and the Sabres get it over.
Good pressure by the Bulldogs there on the ride. They had a chance.
Sure was. Schmidt jumped that pass, and he did well to get that ball out into a loose ball situation, but nobody was there to help him.
Pressing out.
Yeah, so you have Kerr now. Kerr has come out to the midfield. He's guarding Anthony Garrett. And you have Josh Beaton was cutting off the other midfielder. Now Lawhorn steps out, swings it quickly. A little backhand pass, and the shot is off the pipe from Boyle. Crafty little play there as Holland gave a little backhander. And now we have another goal here by Alex Karpovich. Ran through about 4 or 5 stick checks. Nobody put a body on him, and he paid it off with a goal, and the Sabres go up 4-1. And we're likely getting a timeout here for the Bulldogs as they've gone down 4-1 in the first 7.5 minutes of play here. And they're a little shell-shocked as they won the game on Tuesday by 10 goals, and now they find themselves with a 3-goal deficit here early in the game.
Yeah, this has been the trend in NHIAA this season. You know, we're doing a lot of back-to-backs, home and homes, and the first game seems to be a blowout, and the second game, it's a much closer contest. Now, whether that's because they're making the corrections and they know what the matchups are, I'm sure that's part of it. I can tell you right off the bat today, without having their face-off specialist Owen Roberto out there, that's a big difference today. Already, Souhegan's 4-1 on face-offs, and they're immediately controlling the pace of play. And I think what Coach Bertrand has told him is take it to the net. You know, it's a bad day. Get it on the ground. That ball will skip and take off. And although we haven't seen many bounce shots, they've certainly found their spots to make good goals here.
And so Coach Joe Hansmeyer has had to look for another solution at the face-off X. And you could tell right as that timeout was called, the Sabres were very emotional, excited. They were jazzed up, energetic. So Coach Bertrand has done a really good job of getting his team ready for this game to come back on Bedford soil here and really show the Bulldogs what they can do on the field. So we head back to the face-off X. Looks like we will have Joe Michael for the Bulldogs and Anthony Garrett for the Sabres. Again, 4:52 left here in the first. It's a 4-1 lead for the Sabres. And Garrett gets it going his way again, but Beaton comes through on the ground ball. He's able to get that. Takes a slash there by Boyle, no flag. Now it's back to Brady Burke. He spins it behind to Desmond. Desmond looks upfield. He has Will Enners. Enners makes a great job, a great play there on the sideline as he keeps it inbounds, keeps possession, does not step out. Popped it into the offensive box and then quickly gets it to Maniello.
They need a good possession here, Corey.
They sure do, and a goal wouldn't hurt either. So Kramer sweeping right, behind to Derek Greer. Greer bounce pass to Schmidt. Not sure if that was intentional or not. Schmidt drives, gets GLE. Looks like a hold there, won't get called. They get it to Maniello. Josh Dupuis was playing solid defense there. Looks like he was holding a little bit. Now they get it inside, and we have a goal by Connor Arbusto. Turns and shoots quickly after that quick pass. And Arbusto's second goal of the day will cut the lead to 4-2.
Patient offense there. Nice pass by Magnus Steele across to get the assist. Arbusto has found home between the 10 and 15-yard line square up at the top of the crease. He scored a number of goals there this year.
He's done a great job catching the ball in traffic, absorbing some of those stick checks and getting shots off. It really is tough for the goalie catching those balls off of the stick And making those saves in tight when those shots are 10 or 12 yards away is a real tough challenge. And again, Arbusto, his second goal of the game and the only 2 for Bedford, bring it to 4-2. As you mentioned, the faceoff again becomes a factor as the Sabres get the ensuing faceoff, and we'll go on the attack here. Good step out into the passing lane by Brady Burke. He tips that, and the referee missed it that went off of Brady Burke's stick, and that should be Sabres' ball, but they call it for the Bulldogs. Now Burke gets pushed, does very well to stay in bounds, gets over, finds Maniello, who's in the offensive end now. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the first. The Bulldogs get it behind to Greer.
Got to make the most of it here.
Flag down here. Looks like we might have an offsides call or maybe an illegal substitution. I'm not quite sure what the flag is, but similar to hockey, it is a delayed penalty, so the flag is down. It looks like it's probably an offsides, or too many men. They won't call that dead until the Sabres get the ball. They take a shot, score, or the ball does go out of bounds. So they do have the ability to extend this play. Excellent check there by Josh Dupuis. As Toscano was hanging the butt end of his stick, Dupuis took advantage of it, got it on the ground, and they will call the foul now. Looks like it'll be a 30-second foul for too many men, or illegal procedure, illegal substitution. Not quite sure exactly what the call is, but the Bulldogs will go on a 30-second man up.
He must have been with too many men on the field because Coach Bertrand sent the guy back out on the field. You're already in the infraction part of it. You might as well keep the guy out there.
Sure, and that is the reasoning on an offsides or too many men. If you've already made the penalty, you might as well take advantage of having 7 players on the field in your defensive end, 8 plus, with your goalie, of course. So the Bulldogs spin it around, make some cuts now. They look for some cutters. They have Maniello. He takes a bouncer, won't go. They do back it up. Arbusto is closest where it went out, when it went out. So the Bulldogs retain possession. Arbusto looks, finds Toscano. Toscano had a shooting lane, but Greer is going to score on an offside shoulder height shot. Excellent little riser there from Derek Greer, the junior attackman. And they bring it to within 1 goal, 4-3.
So I'm going to get this one right because I got it so wrong last game I called here. Okay. I coached Derek's older brother, Kyle, and I called Derek Kyle about 6 times during the game. Good extra man offense there. Good pass from Toscano to get an assist there. Pretty basic extra man offense there, but they capitalized.
Well, Roger, at least your error was with a brother, not a sister name. So, again, apologies to Magnus Steele earlier. But we're back to the face-off X here.
I've coached about 3 of the Roberto brothers, too. I haven't done that mistake yet.
Okay.
So it's bound to happen.
I'm waiting. Arbusto on the ride here. Can't quite get a good check in, but Michael is there. The Sabres kick it back into play. William Davidson just threw it over his shoulder as to not go out of bounds, and Arbusto was there for the ground ball. So the Bulldogs go back on the attack. They get their offensive substitutes on. Maniello. Magnus Steele up top, waiting for the pass. He won't get it as they look to ISO with Maniello. Now Arbusto is going to drive lefty, draws a crowd, still got some opening, goes behind his back, can't get it to go. That one there probably could have been a regular overhand shot on the front side, and he would have had his hat trick already. But BTB, as we call it in lacrosse, behind the back, and that won't go. Greer's there for the backup, so they do have possession.
I know I wouldn't have been happy with that. Would you have, Coach?
Sometimes those are okay, sometimes they're not. And then Schmidt goes into the crease here. And honestly, he had time and space and plenty of ability to go not behind the back, just a regular shot, and probably would have scored. But so unfortunate on that exchange there, as Schmidt got checked into the crease. And that is legal. If he does get checked, he's within 5 yards of the ball and does fall in the crease. It is an infraction. So that turns the possession to the Sabres. They get into their offensive end. Just under a minute to go here. The Sabres slow it down. They're going to look for the last shot, I'm guessing here. We'll see if Coach Joe Hansmeyer calls out for a stall warning. I understand the Sabres offense was very deliberate on Tuesday as Quinlan Kerr gets a nice takeaway check here. Ball's on the ground, and Kerr gets pushed from behind. So the Bulldogs, do not get the call. Wow, that seemed pretty obvious to me, but I'm up here and they're down there. So Enners is going to attack pretty hard. Beaten. And now the save by Desmond. Outlet pass quickly up to Kerr. Kerr in the midfield. Takes a push. Gets over midfield. Finds his midfielder, Max Maniello, at the box, substitution box. They get it up quick.
Under 10.
Now Schmidt to Greer. Greer hits the pipe.
That's
now takes the push from behind, so they will have 4 seconds left here to potentially get a feed to the crease or anywhere they possibly can. Quick restart, pass up top. They find Kramer, but his shot is wide and scores on the goal well beyond the end line, so it will not count, and we will go into the first break with a 4-3 lead for the Souhegan Sabres. A lot of action here in the first quarter, Roger.
Yeah. The start there was a little shaky, and, Sabres went up quick. But Bedford battled back. Couple turnovers by the Sabres helped them out. Couple of missed calls by the refs certainly helped down here on the one clear. But obviously faceoffs. Faceoffs are in the Sabres' favor, and we need to clean that up. We'll be switching ends. Maybe that'll help. I noticed that when Mr. Christopher was facing off, he did have success against Gallant. So maybe that's the key. Maybe you just need to switch things up sometimes.
Weather could be a factor here as the sticks start to bag out. It is pretty steady but light rain this afternoon here in Bedford, New Hampshire. It is, 4:20 or so in the afternoon, about 50, 52 degrees. So not exactly balmy out there, but they're used to playing in this kind of weather.
Yeah, we're fortunate we've got this turf too, because there were some other cancellations today in NHIAA play. But you're right. I mean, I never liked playing in the rain, but you got to do it.
I always loved it.
Yeah.
Get as dirty as you can, dive around in the mud puddles.
That's true too.
Get to check the little attackmen that were trying to dodge you, get them to fall on the ground. Roger?
Spoken like a true defender.
Of course.
Yep. Man with my own heart. Yep.
So a new 12 minutes are on the clock as we head into the second quarter here.
And
did we have a flag down?
I did not see it. I see nobody in the box either.
Maniello is in the box because we only have 5 defenders, so it looks like the Sabres will have a man-up opportunity here. I'm not quite sure what the call was.
Yeah, very odd.
But Maniello is standing in the box, and we are on an extra man opportunity here for the Sabres, and they promptly throw it away. Ooh, did that get tipped? Okay, so that ball must have been tipped. I didn't see the tip, but the Sabres will have possession here.
That's a makeup call.
Apparently. Did you see it tipped?
Nope.
I thought it went straight out of bounds, honestly, but this one does go off of the head of somebody down low. Looked like Parker Henryshawn was closest there, and he took that ball off the melon. So that will go to the Sabres again.
We're not getting any communication from the table, so we don't know what that penalty was.
It was a 30-second foul as we were 30 seconds into the second quarter here, and we are now now even 6-on-6 lacrosse, and we will resume even up play with the Sabres in the offensive end. So Garrett again, back to Lawhorn. So the Bulldogs have realized that Lawhorn is a threat from the midfield, so they've moved Quinlan Kerr, the normal close defender, to take on him. Burke now gets beaten low side, and Alex Karpovich has his second of the game on a bouncer that beat Desmond low. Tough one there as they look like they were pushing him down, goal line extended, and he didn't have much of an angle, but he switched back to his left hand and was able to cash 5-3 now Sabres.
Yeah, and I thought Burke had him played nicely there, and that switch to his left hand made all the difference in the world on that. Their offense is so slow and methodical. To see something like that develop quickly, like you just saw, was really kind of amazing.
They need those offside defenders to stay within a stick length, harass any pass that's coming to them, and then certainly extend out when you can. Get pressure on their hands. So 10:53 left here in the half. 5-3 Sabres. Back to the face-off X. Garrett against Michael again. Ball gets tipped away, and Enners comes away with the ground ball. Briefly had it in his stick. I do believe they were released. They are, as the attack comes out. And Enners gets the ground ball again. Rolls away from pressure. He has Arbusto. Doesn't want to find him yet, but does find Max Maniello, who stepped in from the substitution box.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Maniello get into the offense here.
Maniello, the senior midfielder, scoreless so far today, but has helped their offense throughout the season. Now they have it behind. Greer has his defender hung, so William Davidson is in a tough spot. He has time and space to feed, jams it in the middle, and that was an ill-advised pass to Schmidt as there were two defenders there and was picked off promptly by Brady Melvin. Garrett legs it into the offensive end, and they will settle as Christopher Whedon now finds Lawhorn up top. Lawhorn has drawn Enners on defense. Very spread offense here by the Sabres. They are nearly at midfield with the ball, 10 yards away from the restraining box. But now they'll go as Lawhorn drives lefty, draws the slide, backs it out, looks for cutters. Now gets a pick. They look for pick and roll. Defended well there, but he does get around Henrichon, and the low sidearm shot by Lawhorn gets past Desmond, and they go up 6-3 as the Sabres have extended out to a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, you know, the part of the time Souhegan goes into that circle offense is the fact that after talking with Coach Bertrand a couple of weeks back, if you look at the roster, the way he had it set up, he really didn't designate most of his offensive, his attackman midfielders. They swing both ways. These guys are going both ways, and I think half the time when he runs circle offense, when they come in off transition, they need a break. He doesn't want to change things up, and he just slows it down.
Yeah, they're gassed, so they do get a chance to catch their breath. We do have a push here on the following face-off on the Sabres, so the Bulldogs will get possession. 9:10 left here in the first half. Maniello in from the sideline, as is Magnus Steele. Toscano chops on two for the first-line midfield. At attack, we have Arbusto, Kuliza, and Shea Lucantoni. Drive, Toscano. Down to Kuliza after Arbusto caught it in traffic. Back up to Steele. Maniello drives, righty. Draws a crowd, shoots anyway, hits the crossbar, can't get it to go. Toscano chases it near side and backs it up.
3 posts today.
Nathan Fritz went to church this week, so he's getting a little help. Back there in net for the Sabres. Toscano now. Drives righty. Looking to pass it off. He finds Lucantoni behind. Guarded there by Brett Bouvier. Arbusto cuts. Rolls away from pressure, gets it to Steele. Steele has a shorty. Now they switch. We say shorties as a short stick, as it's easier to take advantage of the short stick when you're an offensive player. So you usually look to try to ISO or run one-on-ones against the shorty. Nice pick there by Nathan Fritz out of the goal. And the Sabres get timeout. Crafty call by Coach Bertrand, as his goalie was probably going to be in trouble there on the ground ball. But he does call timeout, retains possession with 7:46 left here in the half.
Yeah, it's not a bad call. I'm not one that particularly likes to call, timeouts when you're in your defensive half of the field, but you're right. He would have gotten collapsed on rather quickly. But it will be interesting to see how they run their clear here. Most of the games I've done this year, it seems like there's always one midfielder that's your stud midfielder. You can put it in his hands and he can just truck it down to the offensive box. Let's see. My guess would be Riley Lawhorn's going to end up with the ball on the far side.
You might look to put a long stick here if you're if you're on the Bedford side. You put one of your defenders here, one of your long stick midfielders. Try to double team with an attackman, get it out of his hands pretty quickly, make them move the ball a little bit to try to get open up and over midfield. Again, the counts in high school, they have 20 seconds to get it over the half line once they gain possession, and then 10 seconds to get it into the offensive box, which extends to the 30-yard line. So we'll see some strategy here from both coaches. You know, perhaps they jump out in a 10-man ride, get a little pressure on them. Try to make an error here for the Sabres, as the Bulldogs need a little bit of change in momentum here early on. So as you guessed, Riley Lawhorn will pick that ball up at his own 20-yard line. Far side of the field, just about even with his goalie.
Yeah, they're going to force him to pass it across the field here, if anything.
He's going to look to make a dodge and gets by Arbusto quite easily.
Yeah.
Sticks it in his left hand and runs right by. And now Lawless draws, enters. Long stick midfielder. They spin it up top to Chris Whedon. Near side to Connor Holland. Kerr is guarding him. Henrishon cutting off the adjacent there as they were looking for Alex Karpovich.
Yeah, I don't know if this is strategy from Coach Johansmeyer or not, but they're bringing some long poles up to cover the midfielders here.
Yeah, we mentioned that last time. Yeah, as Quinlan Kerr is seeing the threat from the midfield, he's up top on Connor Holland. Usually he would guard an attackman, but they are moving him up to guard a midfielder. Drive, lefty. Whedon looks behind. Finds Quan. Quan looks to get it back up. Clearly the Sabre midfield is where their scoring and an offensive threat has come from. Nice dodge there inside. Shot won't go from Chris Whedon. And Desmond comes away with that ground ball. Whedon was flattened as soon as he made that shot. Near side now to Henrishon. Henrishon back to Kerr. Kerr dodges.
Got to look.
Sure does. Rolls away from pressure, and his pass gets batted down.
Clock's
got to be getting close to that 20 seconds, and there it is. Failure to advance, and the Sabres will get possession back. So here's an unsettled situation. The Bulldogs seem like they're back and ready to play here. Now it goes far side to Holland again. Goal line extended, far side to Boyle. Holland back up top to Whedon. Now Boyle will bring it behind. Whedon. Back to Holland. Maybe getting a rest here. As you mentioned, many of these players are playing both ways, looking for cutters, bleeding it off. So now, if I were Coach Joe Hansmeyer, I might be yelling at the refs, hey, get a stall warning here. With the stall warning, the Sabres would have to keep it in their offensive box. Anytime they went out of the box, it would be a turnover here. So ground ball, nicely picked up by Karpovich.
He's going to call push.
Yeah, push from behind there on Joe Michael. So 5 minutes to go here in the half. 6-3 Sabres. Ground ball, push from behind, goes back to the Sabres. Nice check there by Enners, gets the ball out. Takeaway check, scooped it up, and that ball gets flipped, unfortunately, right to Daniel Quan, who gets possession, shoots it up top to his midfielder, Riley Lawhorn, but it's well high, and that's going to be a turnover. So the Bulldogs get unlucky on the GB, but get lucky on that feed up top to Lawhorn.
Yeah, I agree with you, Corey. I think that it's time to start barking at the refs on the possessions here. They've been really lagging.
That's going to draw nothing. Wow, that might have been a penalty there, but they get away with it.
Yep.
Oh, no. Loose ball push. Looked like Lawhorn had that ball in his stick, so that could have been a push with possession.
Yeah.
And they do not get the penalty, but it does go back to the Sabres. And it looks like the Bulldogs are slow on their substitutions again. They do get back. The Sabres don't take advantage of it. They did have numbers there, but can't find the open man, and they will settle. So Garrett, Lawhorn, now back to Boyle. He spins it behind to Quan. Very deliberate approach here by the Sabres. Ball goes back up top at the feet of Garrett. He does well to get in the way and deflect it from going directly over half field. Now Garrett goes one-on-one. Good check there by Steele. Dishes. Whedon. Now back to Garrett. Magnus Steele again there on one-on-one defense. Beaton comes to help. They are facing the challenge of keeping him out there and fighting for the stick. They aren't going for body. Lawless outside. No good. High and outside.
Not good defense here being played.
That's tough. They're trying to isolate these short sticks up top, and the Sabres are doing a good job of it. They do need to get another slide in the middle there as Beaton's coming from the crease. These long sticks who are used to the slides probably need to get a little bit more involved in the help defense. But Garrett will hang out up top, and they make a substitution. So Connor Holland comes in. Christopher Whedon steps out. Holland just on, finds it in the middle of the field, can't quite get it to stay in his stick as Lawhorn dropped that pass. And now enters.
Not getting any help.
Not getting any cuts from his attackman, and we did have a timeout. Great call by Coach Joe Hansmeyer as he saw a double team coming quickly for Will Enters and saw him in trouble and is able to get that timeout just in the nick of time before that ball was checked out of Will's stick.
Yeah, my comment about the defense down there was it's a lot of stick checks, and you could tell by the way they walked right in on the crease with one of their attackmen here this last series. You need to start getting some bodies on people and push them out, and that's got to get cleaned up. My thought is, Corey, is that having come away with a pretty nasty loss 2 days ago to Bedford over in Amherst. The strategy when you're up 3 goals and, unexpectedly up as much as they are right now is to, let's kill the clock a little bit here. Coach Bertrand's a smart guy. He's probably going to test to see if they're going to call that, move the ball with the refs and just keep it going that way.
Sure, why not? You have a 3-goal lead early in the first, or we're still late in the first half here, I guess. 2:50 to go. And you're trying to keep that ball away from a potent Bedford offense as they've had success, and especially on Tuesday, 15 goals against this same team. So Maniello will resume play. They get it in, touch it into the offensive box. They get it behind now to Shea Luke and Tony. He's guarded behind by Brett Bouvier. Now up top to Arbusto. He hands to Steele. Steele now to Kramer. Kramer drives lefty. Looks to draw another. Steps away from pressure. Arbusto with a nice little cut. Kramer now, one-on-one.
Got a shot.
Gets a shot off, but that is saved. Popcorn for Nathan Fritz as he gets it up to his defenseman, William Davidson. Now they are in transition. They find Lawhorn. Great check there as Burke is there. Gets it out on the ground.
There we go.
And now Kerr up to Maniello. Can't quite handle that pass. He does get the ground ball. Excellent hustle. Lucky on the scoop. His shot low goes. Maniello, great hustle play on that errant pass from Quinlan Kerr. One-handed ground ball, which coaches are going to cringe at, but it does get into his stick and stays in his stick, and he finishes off the play and draws the Bulldogs to within 2.
A great 5-hole shot there. He just caught the goalie coming across and found a spot, but great one-handed ground ball for a player at this level to be doing that. Almost, kind of a flick of the wrist and get that in was a really good play to see.
You see that in youth play, and you hear the entire crowd and the whole coaching staff say, 2 hands. Not here, though. Excellent hustle. Great play by Maniello, and it draws him to 6-4.
Not when you get the ground ball. If you miss it, then coach is all over you.
So we go back to the face-off X. 1:35 to play here in the first half. The Sabres gain possession, and quickly we'll call timeout.
You know, I thought that Coach Bertrand was going to call timeout when Lawhorn had the ball and Brady Burke checked it out of his stick. He had about 1:52 on the clock at that point, and you can't take it with you. So when you have possession with under a couple of minutes, you really want to use that timeout, and that might have been a spot to take it.
Preserve the possession, and here on the face-off, he was able to do the same. So looked like Garrett might have caught a slash in the midsection as he was doubled over at the start of that timeout. Coach Bertrand's probably going to try to pull together a play here, maybe a drive hard with one of his midfielders, looking for an offside cut.
Comment on that last shot that Fritz made the save on. It was Magnus Steele, I think, on the dodge, was it not?
I believe it was Kramer.
It was Kramer. Okay, the other midfielder. They got to start using the ground. Fritz is a big goalie. He's got some decent skills, but when you're going to shoot that far out in the alley, 10, 12 yards in this kind of weather, you really want to get a skip on the ball and take advantage of that. Fritz had just a clear sight on that ball and made an easy save.
So they resume play here, and Holland has the ball. He'll step it over. Holland looks to go, breaks down his defender, but dishes off to Chris Whedon. Whedon back to Holland. 2-goal lead here for the Sabres as the final minute of the half approaches. Good check there behind. Gets that ball on the ground. Unfortunately, it goes right to the Sabres, but Nick Hadley at X there. Good little poke check to get that pass in an awkward spot. Whedon now. Back to Holland. And they're going to pull this clock all the way down to near 0 before they go. I'm guessing with about 20 seconds, you'll see an aggressive move to the cage here. Again, a very deliberate approach here on offense. The defense extends out a little bit. Joe Michael now checking Holland. Holland spins back. Kerr there for the pick. Nice. Excellent play by the senior defenseman. He gets into the offensive zone. Far side. Oh, finds Kuliza, but he can't handle the pass. And now Lawhorn picks it up and gets it back. Tough exchange there. Lawhorn now. Lefty pass up top. They find Holland. Holland dodges 2. Gets to his right hand. Pass is the shot is way off, though. And we'll end the half here 6-4 as the Bulldogs trail by 2 goals. And the Sabres need to be pleased with that first half output. Quick scoring summary, and then we'll take a 10-minute break here. For the Sabres, Riley Lawhorn has 2. Alex Karpovich has 2. Quan with 1, and Will Boyle with 1. For the Bulldogs, their 4 goals are made up by Connor Arbusto with 2, Maniello with 1, and Derek Greer with 1. So we will take a short break. Roger, it's been good calling the first half with you. We look to rejoin you guys in about 10 minutes. Welcome back here to Bedford High School. We have second half action just beginning as the Bulldogs trail the Sabres from Souhegan 6-4. Action quickly back into the Sabres' end as Lawhorn picks it up for the black-shirted Souhegan team. They will wait for their offensive substitutes to come on, and Bedford quickly finds themselves losing another faceoff and a challenge to get the ball back here.
And they were holding their own there at the second quarter. They were even up on faceoffs with Souhegan.
First quarter must have been a bigger deficit with that, as it was visible from up here that they were having challenges. That ball goes back up top to Whedon. Whedon finds Boyle. Now behind to Daniel Kwan. Kwan drives lefty. Looking to pass, looking for cutters in the middle. Had the Holland there for a second on right on the crease, but couldn't quite get it to him. So they get it back up top. Lefty drive now by Whedon. Defended there by Michael. Pass gets picked off. Excellent play by Brady Burke. He gets it back to Desmond. And back over to Parker Henrishon on the far side of the field. Up quickly to Enners. Enners encounters a long stick midfielder, but still makes a great dodge as he gets around Josh Dupuis and finds Maniello. So the Bulldogs have a good defensive set here and can draw within one. Kramer now up top. Arbusto now back to Greer.
Ooh.
And his pass to Schmidt is going to bounce at his feet, and it goes out of bounds. So unforced turnover there.
You could see the way he released that ball that it didn't come out of his stick right, Corey. I wonder if that's becoming an issue with the weather here.
Sure did, and Schmidt didn't have much to do. I mean, he was caught as that ball was right at his feet, and it's really tough to handle those kinds of passes. Lawhorn now dodges two attackmen up the far side. Beaton gets a good body check, but Lawhorn keeps the ball, gets double teamed. Now it's up quick. He finds Holland. Holland looks to make a pass as the defense is getting more aggressive for the Bulldogs.
Good non-call there by the ref on Kerr.
Kerr going heavy now on Holland. Can't quite get the ball out. Boyle's taunting, doesn't get caught. And now the pass inside, and Karpovic's shot goes wide.
Yeah, Parker Hendrickson was falling asleep there. He got behind on his player.
Drive here now by Kwan. Flag is down on a trip. The ball is out. Goes back to the back left corner. It does go out of bounds, as Karpovic could have picked that ball up and taken advantage of the delayed penalty call, but we are going to have a push from behind with possession, and that'll be a 30-second foul. Nobody is trotting off, though. I'm not quite sure who it was called on, and now it looks like Josh Beaton will go to the sin bin and feel shame. Well, they're going to call a trip. It's not on Beaton, as it looks like Owen Christopher is going to take a knee there in the box. And the Sabres will go on the extra man offense.
Yeah, I think they actually got that wrong. I think it was Beaton who actually had the infraction, but having a similar number got him in the box.
Well, Bill Jennings' instant replay is still in the works, so we can't have the benefit of seeing that on the telestrator here. But the Sabres now spin it behind, and they look to take advantage of this man-up opportunity. They force the crease, won't go. Michael can't get the ground ball. Shot there was wide, and Desmond backs it up. Excellent play by the keeper to get behind his cage quickly and regain possession for the Bulldogs.
Rain's really coming down now, Corey.
Sure is. Pretty solid. Far side now with Burke. Burke in the middle to Michael. Michael dodges at midfield. They'll look to kill this penalty as Michael gets doubled. The ball comes out. Maniello there on the ground ball, can't get it. And Lawhorn does. He comes away with it. He's chased down now by Enners and Michael. Still keeps possession. Cut low was missed, as they did have Boyle on the backside there, but didn't want to feed Cutter and force it there, so they will regroup at midfield. Penalty is released. We are even up now in 6-on-6 play as Garant takes his time up top. Now, see, this is the exact part where if I were Coach Joe Hansmeyer, I'd be yelling, hey, keep it in. Hey, where's the stall, ref?
Yeah, especially after that EMO. I mean, they had definitely enough time in that EMO to run a play, and they just kind of hung tight.
Sure. Kerr now checks Lawhorn. Over to Boyle. Boyle feeds, gets past Hendershon. Good catch in traffic. Shot gets blocked, though, as Holland was able to stab that with one hand.
Oh.
And now an excellent move by Karpovich, and he takes advantage. Rolls through two defenders. Nobody takes body, and Karpovich gets his hat trick as he extends the lead for the Sabres to 7-4.
Now, similar play to what we commented on at the end of the second quarter, where Karpovich just walked right through several defenders, and I thought they had him over on that far side. They were playing good defense, and he just slipped right through.
They sure were, but nobody took body. He got to his strong left hand and beat Desmond low and pushes it out to a 7-4 lead. We've got a legal procedure now on somebody. Not quite sure who or why, but
Souhegan.
Yeah, the near side official called a procedure on the Sabres. So the Bulldogs will get possession here as Steele picks it up. He'll drive, get it into the box. Just under 7.5 to play here in the third quarter. Steele now pulls his player out. He's checked there by Whedon.
Got it.
Steele gets to his right. Arbusto in the middle.
Oh, nice
Dodges
dodge.
2-3 players. Ball gets checked out, and Greer comes up with the ground ball.
Maniello's wide open.
He was, but that's a tough pass from way behind the cage, and now Greer's pass is going to go up and out of play. It does go. It is an over and back. So
Still
once
up.
you do step it into the offensive box on offense, you cannot go back onto your defensive half of the field, so that is a turnover on the Bulldogs.
Good effort by both players, though.
Absolutely, trying to chase that down and keep it on their side. Burke now challenged by Boyle. Gets the goal line extended, dishes up top. Whedon now finds Lawhorn way outside, stopped by Desmond. That ground ball gets passed back to Desmond. He'll look for his outlet. Burke near side. Burke to Beaton.
Nice pass.
Good catch on the run there for Beaton. He steps it into the box. And now finds Owen Christopher, who passes back over to Maniello. They'll wait for their offensive substitutes. Will Kramer and Sean Toscano will come in from the box. 3-goal deficit that the Bulldogs are looking at here with just under 6 to play in the third quarter. Maniello gets to his right hand. Nice drive. Bounce shot stopped there by Nathan Fritz in goal. Good save as he got down quickly on that bouncer. And now into transition. Quan gets behind his defender. Now they don't have numbers.
Nice.
And that ball bounces off Whedon's stick and goes right to Kramer. Kramer absorbs a check, steps it in. Now gets doubled, finds backside Schmidt, but his pass is wide. And that will go to the Sabres as well. So only 1 goal so far here in the third quarter by the Sabres, and it extended their lead to 7-4. They are on the clear now. Holland gets the ball. He'll step it over midline. Good check there by Enners, but the ball does not come out. Now he's double-teamed, and it does come out. Enners with the GB. Makes a couple dodges, looks back to his goalie. Desmond, now to Hendershon. He finds a cutting Andrew McGee. McGee legs it over midline, now gets it into the offensive box and up to Schmidt.
Good heads-up check by Quinlan Kerr coming up off his attackman and doubling the ball.
And now it looks like we have an illegal substitution here.
Yeah, there's too many men again.
Not quite sure what it was. I saw 6 out there, but they do make substitutions. Steele looking to get that ball away from Holland.
There's some body.
Holland maintains composure, steps it in, and now fires across the field for Lawhorn. Gets caught up in his feet. He is checked there by Nick Hadley. Slips, falls down, double team. Michael is there. He keeps the ball in his stick somehow.
On his back.
Loose ball push, and they will give it back to Sabres.
Starting to notice Riley Lawhorn getting his left arm out on his dodges a little more and pushing off. Let's keep an eye on that.
We'll keep an eye. I don't know if the referees will keep an eye, but we can't make calls up here, Roger.
Yeah.
And even if he is pushing and they don't call it, good on him. He's getting away with it.
Indeed.
So Boyle makes a dodge. Up top now to Garrett. Garrett steps in, time and space. His shot is wide. And as you observed in the first half, he went with a bounce shot. However, it was not backed up by the Sabres. That's a bad loss on their part right there. Henryshawn was heads up and got to the end line quicker.
Second series in a row that they didn't have a backup. On that EMO, they didn't have a backup either.
Yeah, absolutely. Little things that can help and make a big difference. Brady Burke gets it behind to Greer. Greer again has his man hung up. Free feed, finds Steele, and that is a save, point blank by Fritz. Arbusto on the rebound, can't get that to go. Excellent feed there by Greer to Steele. It couldn't cash in. And now Greer behind. Looks to Schmidt. That's a tough pass as the defender was right there. Brady Melvin makes a great check on Schmidt's hands. And that was an ill-advised pass, as you were saying, Roger. Out of bounds, and it goes to the Sabres.
Not sure why he even made that
Fired
pass.
up to the middle, and talking about ill-advised passes, that goes right into beaten stick on the ground ball. He'll look behind to Brady Burke. Burke, way up top, finds Owen Christopher. Excellent catch. They get it to Maniello. They have numbers.
No.
Bad shot there, and that's eaten up by Nathan Fritz. Way too far out. That ball gets batted around in the defensive end here. We're going to have a push from behind on the loose ball. So the Sabres will take control. And now Schmidt gets a silly penalty on a delay of game. That's a dead ball, so he will go to the sin bin right now on a 30-second delay of game is my guess, unless they call a conduct foul for 1 minute, but that was kind of a silly penalty.
Yeah, he more than likely said something. I didn't see where it was blatant that he threw the ball away, so they couldn't restart. But
well, no, it was in the goalie's stick. I'm not sure if you caught it there. It was in the goalie's stick, and he checked up on the goalie's stick to pop it out to delay the restart there. So that's what got called. I'm not quite sure the time that will get called. Possibly a 30-second delay, maybe a minute misconduct kind of thing. But the Bulldogs will go back on the man-down defense as Holland steps it in, and the Sabres still have that 3-goal lead. We'll take a patient approach here. Back up top to Lawhorn.
Not a lot of movement.
They're open, which means they are in a circle-type offense. Now they get a cutter. There's one on the crease as Garrett takes that position. Lawhorn with a shot, low right, and it is a goal. Beats Desmond, and that is Lawhorn's hat trick with 2:11 left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the offense is coming from the outside. EMOs, you usually like to try and get some movement and create 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. There was none of that there, and I got to think that was probably a 30-second penalty, and he was getting told by the bench to make a shot. So they got to be aware of that and try and get something on his hands.
Yeah, but still, he had time and space there. There was not a defender close enough for him as he wound up and had plenty of time to pick his spot and found it low right, beat Desmond.
Exactly.
And now the Bulldogs finally win a faceoff here as Michael gets it into his stick, but he is checked there by Brady Melvin. And now Arbusto comes away with the loose ball, drives lefty, dodges one, finds low Kuliza. He can't handle the pass, though. And Nathan Fritz comes away with that ground ball. He gets chased by about 4 or 5 Bedford Bulldogs, but finds Karpovich, who made a nice cut to get open. Karpovich running through people again, lefty, and that'll go. Ran through about 4 Bulldogs defenders, and that's his 4th of the game. As the Sabres go up now 9-4 with 1:35 left here in the third quarter.
Boy, Karpovich is certainly making a statement today. He's pretty fast, hard to catch up, very stealthy, but he just had the will to take that all the way to the goal and came up with one.
Sure did. He's a big, strong kid. Caught it out by midfield, but honestly, he ran through about 4 or 5 stick checks.
Yep.
And again, Coach Joe Hansmeyer is going to be disappointed that nobody took body there to stop his momentum. And now we have a legal procedure, delay a game, as Whedon was slow to get out to the faceoff X, and the Bulldogs get possession. That's a tough error right there by the Sabres, as they've been doing quite well at the faceoff X. And to not get out there in time is a silly mistake that gives the Bulldogs possession.
Yeah, certainly gives the Bulldogs a chance to cut the momentum and bring it back here. Bulldogs are actually up 3-1 on faceoffs this quarter. So, keep violating. We'll take it.
Kramer now gets to Arbusto. Arbusto
Nice
righty
try.
shot, offside hip, and that goes. So Arbusto gets a hat trick now, third of the game. 1:06 left, and it pulls the score to 9-5. And they're going to need a few more of those quick scores to make this a game.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've been watching Connor Arbusto for a number of years, and I don't think I've ever seen him shoot and score in his right hand. I'm really astonished. I'm going to have to tell Coach Murphy down at Curry that he's actually got a right hand.
Well, good for him. He caught it into traffic, switched to his right hand, and pulled the trigger, found the offside, wide open, and took advantage of it. Enters now, controls the faceoff, but gets checked quickly. Now Michael gets it going his way, and he comes away with the ground ball. Run away from pressure, sir. And he does. Still run. There you go. Get it away. There you go.
Right.
So he finds Luke and Tony. Luke and Tony pass up top.
Under a minute.
Maniello outside. We do have about 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Maniello decides to eat it and wait for some substitutions. He finds Kramer. Kramer used his speed on the last couple possessions. He finds Kuliza backdoor, and that is a great goal. They're going to count that as Kuliza tiptoed the crease and able to corral that pass by Will Kramer and buries backside. Great play there by Kuliza, and now it's 9-6 with 22 seconds left.
Yeah, give Kuliza a pat on the back there. He came in halfway through the second quarter against Wyndham this past Saturday, and he ended up with 3 goals. He made a statement in that game, and I really was impressed with his skills. Give Will Kramer credit on that goal as well. Second assist in a row. He assisted on Arbusto's goal.
Hold on the Sabres for the faceoff, so the Bulldogs will get possession back here. And as you mentioned, the freshman attackman, Kuliza, is able to cash there. 15, now 12, 10 to go. Maniello with the ball. Feeds it behind.
Make.
Luke and Tony drives lefty. Bounce shot goes. Wow, only 10 seconds left there. And Luke and Tony on a drive lefty gets it to go. And quickly, it's a 2-goal game. As you can see in lacrosse very frequently, that teams and players will go on runs. And this was a 5-goal differential just, a minute and a half ago? And now we have a 2-goal lead with 3 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Yeah, what a turn of events. And I'll say the same thing I said about Kuliza. Luke and Tony came in at the same time last week and did something very similar. So good for the backup attackman here for the Bulldogs.
So there's the horn for the third quarter. It is a 9-7 lead for the Sabres. The 2-goal margin is the same as we saw at halftime. We'll head to the final 12 minutes in a similar position. Quick scoring update for you. For the Sabres, Karpovich leads the way on 4 goals. Riley Lawhorn also has a hat trick with 3. Daniel Kwan and Will Boyle have each chipped in with 1. On the Bulldogs side, Connor Arbusto has 3, and then 1 goal each by Derek Greer, Max Maniello, Derek Kuliza on that last one, tiptoeing the sideline there. The one before that, tiptoeing the crease. And then Shea, Luke, and Tony on that lefty drive with only 3 seconds left in the third quarter, drew them back to within 2. So strategy here, Roger. 2 goals. You're going to see what? The Sabres offense continue to be deliberate in their offensive end. The Bulldogs defense extend out where possible to try to get that ball on the ground, right?
I would say that the offensive strategy doesn't change for the Sabres. One thing that they got to get back on track with is the faceoffs. Bedford dominated, if you will, the faceoffs in the third quarter, which was a big surprise, which obviously helped them to get to where they're at right now. Bedford can't waste any possessions at this point. There's going to be worse weather as we get into this, and they just got to capitalize on every chance they get.
So back to that face-off X. Michael gets it going his way. Had it in his stick very briefly, but it does go into the offensive box here. Brett Bouvier comes away with that ground ball. Passes back to Fritz. He gets it to Davidson. Davidson now to Bouvier.
Oh, nice pass.
That ball gets kicked away there by Enners.
Good pick.
Looks like it went off of Enners, and so that is a good
legs.
call, yeah. So Lawhorn will step it in for the Sabres. Quickly across to Holland. Holland touches it in. He's checked there by Kerr. Kerr's looking for that takeaway check. See if he's dangling the butt end of his stick. Maybe get a slap or a wrap. Lift there by Kerr.
Good defense.
Still keeps it in his stick, though, as Holland does well to get away from that check. He found Lawhorn on the sideline. He's checked there by Enners.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed about Souhegan in the few times I've watched him this year is that when Garant gets tired, because he's going both ways and doing faceoffs, they'll stick Lawhorn in there occasionally.
Okay.
And Lawhorn is not a faceoff guy. He's strong, he's big, he's got some leverage there, but it'll be interesting to see what the faceoffs continue to be here.
Tough call there on a moving pick. Jeez, that didn't look like much, but Karpovich got called for a moving pick.
And they need to go.
They do. There's still 10 minutes left here. Oh, that's a great check there as they get the ball out. Ooh, and that ball. Ooh, that's a tough call. Excellent play by Kuliza as he picked it up and threw it off of the Sabres defender, but the referee was screened out from that, couldn't quite see the details, and the Sabres do get the ball. Good ride by the attack. They got it on the ground, but it goes right back into Whedon's stick. Lift there by Enners. That ball is out. Michael comes up with it. He runs away from pressure. Finds Maniello. Flag is down now, so the Bulldogs will go on a man up. Not quite sure what that was. Maybe a slash along the far sideline. But the flag is down.
Be nice to double dip on this one if it's a personal.
And by double dip, Mr. Roger is talking about getting a goal to go on the delayed penalty and then going up a man on the delayed penalty. So they are not able to do either of those as a popcorn shot was eaten up by Fritz. And I'm guessing Coach Bertrand's getting a little lippy over there. There's an unsportsmanlike conduct and is locked in. So that's a tough mistake. Not quite sure who that came from, but Coach Bertrand's not going to be happy.
Well, we see Boyle in the box, so he must have been the initial penalty. And I'm not sure if these are going to be consecutive, but certainly it looks like the lock is going to be on the initial infraction. So we might have 2 minutes here.
And I can't quite tell if it's 2 men down or 1 man down, but they are trotting a 5th player in for the Sabres for the field. So it looks like it is only a 1-person down type penalty instead of 2 different ones.
Right.
So it's 6-on-5 here. The Bulldogs go on the attack on their extra man opportunity. Arbusto gets it behind to Greer. Tough pass there to Greer. I'm sorry, that is Kramer. Now to Toscano. Spins it to Schmidt. Back to Toscano.
There's the movement.
Some movement, a little rotation. Now to Kramer. Now Arbusto, lefty crank, right into the stick as Fritz was down on a knee and made a great save. Back to Fritz. He looks upfield and finds Garrett. Garrett gets checked. Ball is out. Kerr comes up with it.
Get it up.
Fires it quickly. Gets it to Greer. Now Maniello. Up top to Arbusto. Oh, and he can't handle that pass. tough play right there as they had a one-on-one with the goalie, but it popped out of Arbusto's stick. And now the Sabres are going to look to kill off this penalty as quickly and as slowly as possible. I guess that didn't make sense, as quickly or as slowly, but good checks there by Kerr. Double team up top. Enders gets a check, but Lawhorn runs around both, swims. Shot saved by Desmond as he bailed out 3 of his defenders that went for stick checks and got dodged. Now Burke's bottom hand gets checked. They get the ball out. Quan is there. Loose ball. And it looks like Quan is going to get called with a push there. Ooh, maybe not. And that's a bad call, as that should have been a play on. Lawhorn had advantage there. The call does go against the Bulldogs, but Lawhorn had advantage and could have had an odd man going in on the offensive side. Garrett now gets in trouble, and Coach Bertrand will call timeout. 8:03 left here. The Sabres hold a 2-goal lead, 9-7.
Huge opportunity for Bedford right there with it appears to be a locked 2-minute penalty, because we're well beyond the 1 minute of the first part of the penalty. But to not get any decent looks at Fritz on that extra man offense is disappointing. And they had a spot there that they could have kept bringing it up.
Yeah, it sure is. And even on that transition there, they had Arbusto basically on the doorstep there. And unfortunately, the ball popped out of his stick, and that was a one-on-one with Fritz. And as that ball popped out, Fritz was able to get possession up the field and back into transition to try to kill off the rest of the penalty.
Yeah, give Coach Bertrand kudos for calling that timeout too, because he definitely has got to kill the penalty, and better to kill it in your own offensive half of the field.
So 9-7 here. A little flurry of goals at the end of the third quarter brought the Bulldogs back to within 2. There are 8 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the game. The Sabres will have possession. They are a man down at the moment, so they are trying to kill off the rest of this penalty. As you would expect, Lawhorn, the midfielder, senior midfielder for the Sabres, picks the ball up. They'll look to double team right away, as both Kerr and Enders, long sticks themselves, are going to look to corral Lawhorn and force a pass. And that is not what you want to see Lawhorn do. He should be running as quickly as possible away from this pressure. He turtled, and the ball is on the ground. We have the ball out of bounds, and the referee finally makes the call. It is the Bulldogs' ball.
Yeah, Enders definitely thought it was out on Souhegan there. He got right off the field.
Tough pass here, though, by Kerr. He's looking for Maniello, and that pass gets picked off by Guerin. It's quickly back to the Sabres.
And
another one as Parker Henrichon gets his stick in the way. He'll trot it over, look for his attackman. Nobody comes to him. He does step it in. Finds Steele. Magnus Steele gets to Maniello. Maniello now into Arbusto. Turns to his left hand, and his low stinger finds the back of the net. We have a 1-goal game. Found the low left corner on the pass from Maniello. And Arbusto loves to catch that ball about 10 or 12 yards from the goal, turn to his left hand and fire away, and again cashed in for his 4th of the day.
Yeah, that almost looked like it was in slow motion at the very start of that play, and the ball gets over to Maniello, and Arbusto, like I've said before, that's his spot. And I think a lot of goalies misplay that because he's in his left hand,
Absolutely. So he got to his left hand. Excellent play there. And I'm a little surprised the Sabres weren't right in his gloves there, as he was right above the crease, about 10 or 12 yards. And as we said, it's about 7 minutes left here in the game, and it is a 1-goal game. So Garrett steps it into the box. Quan makes the lefty dodge. Again, gets through a couple players, but finally gets checked. That ball's on the ground. Burke comes away with it, scoops to Desmond, and now he has a cutting Henrichon, who sees nothing but green grass in front, well, green turf, I guess, in front of him. Henrichon
be patient here.
Steps it in, finds Maniello. And the Bulldogs get back to their offensive team as Steele and Kramer will round out the midfield. Kuliza, Lucantoni, and Arbusto on attack. Kramer finds Arbusto. He's going to drive lefty.
No slide.
Take a couple whacks from Davidson. He spins it behind to Lucantoni. Catches his own drop. Now Arbusto, lefty behind. Ball's on the ground. Kicked around a little bit. And Whedon gets the ground ball, but we do get a push from behind. And the Bulldogs will take possession of it. Again, I'm not quite sure I saw that, Roger.
I didn't. I thought we held the Souhegan player. But, yeah, we're not down there.
So Steele steps out, and Magnus looks to drive with his right hand. Now behind, Lucantoni drives lefty to the other lefty, Arbusto. His pass looked a little astray, but Kramer did well to keep it in bounds. Kramer gets mixed up here on a good check at the midfield, but Steele bails him out on an excellent ground ball.
Both teams look tired right now. Nobody seems to want to dodge off the corners here.
Feed in the middle to Kramer. He can't handle it as he's quickly checked by two people. There are just over 5 minutes to play here in a one-goal game. Davidson now in the middle. Spin dodge. Gets away from pressure. Gets hacked on his bed end, and the ball comes out. Good play. Now he's playing without a stick, so he'll get called for that, and the Bulldogs will take possession.
That's always tough when your stick ends up in the scrum pile and you're trying to get it back, right?
Right. You're just trying to get back to it to get possession of your own stick, and you get called. But it is what the correct call should be. And the Bulldogs take advantage as they get back into their offensive end. Maniello looks behind.
Big opportunity here.
Sure is. And I'm a little surprised that we don't see Greer and Schmidt out here on attack for the Bulldogs as Lucantoni and Kuliza. Lucantoni, the senior, but Kuliza, the freshman, is not the starting attack, but they're going to look to see what kind of offense they set up. Arbusto gets to X, back to his left hand.
Not getting any help from movement.
Not at all. As he looks to dish to Maniello, his pass gets tipped, and Garrett comes away with it. Garrett gets it all the way into the offensive end. Checked there by Sean Toscano. And they will take their time with 4 minutes left here. And this is where we really might see some stalling, but we'll see how much Coach Joe Hansmeyer gets after it. Toscano goes over to the sideline, and that's a bad substitution as they have numbers now. They help out. Kerr comes to the rescue as he shifts over from the backside and makes up for a bad substitution. And they escape without any issue. Beaton is now on, guarding Whedon.
I think if I'm Bertrand, I'm going to get it right down to the 2 minute mark and see
Sure.
what happens here. Well,
why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? As Beaton steps out, looks to put a little more pressure on the Sabres. They get it quickly over to Holland. Holland now in the middle to Lawhorn. That pass gets on the ground. Beaton with the ground ball, and he's going to not get a push from behind. Yeah. Karpovich, his pass, kind of a pass, a little bit of a scoop. Looked like he was passing, but doesn't. Hendershon bats down that ball. Flopped around there by the crease. Boyle can't come up with it. Karpovich does get it. Passes back to Lawhorn. Side ripper. And that's eaten up by Desmond on the high heat. Good save by Desmond.
So Bedford with 2 timeouts here. They need to really watch the clock and capitalize on possessions, I think.
Pass from Burke up to Kramer. Kramer now behind. Feed in the middle to Steele.
Ooh.
And that goes off his stick. Ground ball. Good job by the Sabres to get there as Melvin got the ball in his stick. Thought he lost it, but he still had it. Back over to Fritz. And now to Karpovich. Was that? No, I'm sorry. That's not Karpovich. That's Bouvier. The 31 looked like a 3. Desperation pass up the middle. That finds Kerr's stick. He finds Arbusto. And that was kind of a bail me out kind of passes. They were facing the 22nd Failure to advance call right there.
Under 2 minutes now, Corey.
2 minutes to go, 1-goal game. And to take a line from Jack Edwards, how's your entertainment factor, Roger?
Yeah, I'll feel better if these Bulldogs can pull it out here and get it at least tied.
So 1:30 now. Steele drives righty. He gets double teamed.
And he gets hit.
No flag. Timeout is called by Coach Joe Hansmeyer. 1:23 left, 1-goal game. He's going to reset his offense. So, Coach, do you set up a play here?
I set up a play here, big time. I get Luca Toni out, Kuleza out, get my starting attack back in there. Middies that left the field can go back on. They look like Maniello, Magnus, and Kramer. So let's see what they can come out with. They almost appeared to be running a freelance offense in this fourth quarter. I know a lot of the sets they run, know many of the offensive plays they run, and I didn't see a lot of that in this quarter. A lot of open spaces, nobody moving. So I think you almost have to put in a play right now that gets the ball in Arbusto's hands, or certainly going to start off with Maniello, I would hope, and see what can materialize out of that.
Yeah, you're going to look to see your senior leading scorers to get involved here. Like you said, Arbusto or Maniello, perhaps Magnus Steele, although he's a junior, he is a significant contributor on the offensive end. So get some action with the ball, maybe an offside pick to get Arbusto free on his left hand. Perhaps getting Maniello with time and space, 10 to 12 yards away. We'll see what Coach Joe Hansmeyer has drawn up. But as you've mentioned a couple of different times, this Sabres midfield has to be tired. They've been going both ways the whole game, and it's been taxing on their bodies.
But they're out there now. They're out, no long pole.
Kramer starts with the ball. A little bit of a surprise. His quickness might be helpful in this situation. He takes it behind. Kramer gets to his right hand, and he scores.
There it is.
Excellent job by Will Kramer. Not what I saw coming, but he did get the step high side and dunked it over the top as Fritz was handcuffed. And we do have a tie game here, 9-9 with 1:10 left in the game.
Yeah, I would not have called that. I mean, to do an invert with your midfielder who's he's actually having a pretty good day today. I have him with at least 2 assists right now. Give him one there. But yeah, hey, you got to take what you get, and there it is.
And Coach Bertrand is going to call for a stick check here. So an interesting little strategy play here in the waning minutes, as the coach of any team has the ability to check the stick of any player who has just scored. Interestingly enough, if the player who just scored is found to have an illegal stick, the goal does not count. So that would be an instance where it comes off the board, but the referees have made their determination rather quickly. And so Kramer's stick is legal.
And they're doing Karpovich
now. and now Joe Hansmeyer, Coach Joe Hansmeyer, in a funny display of gamesmanship, has asked for a stick check on Alex Karpovich.
That's I don't know whether that's good strategy or bad by Bertrand, but on a day like today, when you know that the mesh is probably going to start bagging out on these guys, probably a smart one.
Excellent play by Coach Bertrand, I have to say. I mean, if there's no penalty or possible detriment to calling for a stick check, which there is not, you might as well call for it, especially on the player who just scored the goal. So again, good strategy there by Coach Bertrand. Tie game, 1:10 left, and we go back to the face-off X. And the ball goes to Garrett. Garrett gets checked there quickly out of his stick, and now Coach Bertrand does get a timeout. So 1:01 left, 9-9 game, and the Sabres have possession in their offensive end.
So let's make this call. Who's going to get this goal for Souhegan if it materializes?
Well, you hope nobody gets the goal here,
sure.
Right? But you want to have that ball in your midfielder's hands, right? So Lawhorn's going to be there, Garant, Holland, one of those three, perhaps Karpovich. He does have 4 on the day. He's been a force down there, the lefty attackman, and has been really leading the way for their goals. But certainly you've seen all afternoon that this has been generated from up top in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. with the exception of a couple of goals there by Karpovich. But I hope they're going to put a long pole on Lawthorne, which the Sabres didn't do on the subsequent play where Bedford scored. They put Lawthorne on Maniello and went with 3 short sticks. But I expect that not to be the case here. We're probably going to see Enners on Lawthorne.
Yeah, I would guess so. Enners would take the ball here, and as you mentioned, Lawhorn picks it up. Kerr is likely going to be matched up top as well with their invert, as Holland will draw Kerr. Enners along the far sideline here with Lawhorn. Now it gets back up top to Garrett. He is checked there, it looks like, by McGee.
Yep.
Andrew McGee, 21. 45 seconds to go now. Lawhorn takes it out. Enners shades him to go left. And he does. He drives lefty. Looks for cutters. He finds in the middle Holland. They spin it back to Garrett.
Watch the wing.
30 seconds to go now. Look for offside cutters. Defenders need to have their head on a swivel. Kerr is not paying any attention to somebody way behind. Holland gets to his right. Pushed far and away, though. Doesn't pull the trigger as Joe Michael is there for defense. 15 seconds to go. You're going to look for early slides there. There's a cut. 10 seconds to go. Michael. Driving Holland, righty. Back up top to Lawhorn. Lawhorn checked there.
Good slide.
Gets the shot off, and it will not go at the buzzer. And we're going to head to overtime.
Hey, great defense by the Bulldogs there. They did not lose their cool. They stayed with their men. Good talk. Good slide there by Quinn Kerr on Lawhorn's dodge. But they waited out the Sabres there on defense, and it played off.
They sure did. They got a shot off. They did not give up possession, which kudos to them. They got the last shot. It would have been a disaster for them if they had let up possession there and the ball had gone down the other end for the Bulldogs. So they killed out the last minute or so, got a shot off. It was too far outside, and again, it was high and wide, so it did not challenge Desmond. But we're going to have a 5-minute interim period as we get set for overtime. I believe the overtime is a 4-minute overtime.
Yeah, I can't see them waiting the full 5 minutes here with the weather.
They're going to spin it and get ready to go here. 9-9, and we head into an exciting sudden victory type overtime period here.
So again, we're going to have a 1-goal difference in the Thursday afternoon contest from the home and home. Last I counted, there were at least 5 of those games throughout NHIAA in the last 3 weeks. So interesting turn.
So somebody gets to be the hero this afternoon. Face-off gets batted around here a bit. A glove falls off, and Lawhorn gets possession. So the Sabres get the first opportunity in their offensive half. Lawhorn rolls it across the field to Holland. Holland draws Kerr. Now back to Lawhorn, who has Enners. They do get it to the other short stick, Chris Whedon, who is guarded by Joe Michael. Cut from the backside. Whedon looks to get rid of it. He finds Boyle. Burke is on him. They find a cutting Whedon. Good check there by Kerr. Gets the ball on the ground. Now it's behind to Quan. Quan up top to Lawhorn. Dodges, gets to his left, pulls, fires it wide.
Boy, Desmond saw that the whole way, too.
Oof.
His body moved with the shot, and good for him.
10 or 12 yards, though. That was a great opportunity for Lawhorn. Went to his left hand, but couldn't find the cage. Quan backs it up, though.
Kerr's got to talk here.
Back up top to Whedon. Now to Quan. He's checked by Kramer. Now Boyle. Boyle on Burke. He drives lefty.
Oh, no slide.
Oh, tough check to go for right there. No slide comes, and Desmond eats up that shot on the low bouncer. Kudos to Desmond on that save.
He's come up big a couple times here in the second half.
Henry Sean looks to clear. He finds Kramer.
Good move.
Kramer rolls back, gets to the middle. Nobody's coming to him. His low bouncer
There it
goes.
is.
And the Bulldogs will take the victory. Excellent roll back to the middle for Will Kramer. Nobody slid to him. Oddly enough, he pulled the trigger from about 10 or 12 yards and found the low right-hand corner, and the Bulldogs escape a threat here, 10-9, with an overtime victory.
Wow, what can you say? It was almost as if the Souhegan defense was locked in stone down there. They didn't move at all, and I think they thought that maybe they had some help coming back, and Kramer put it into second gear and then into overdrive, and next thing you know, we're walking away with a victory here. But that's Kramer's second goal here in the second half. And he single-handedly has pulled out a win for the Bulldogs.
So Will Kramer is the hero of the afternoon as he scored the goal to tie the game with not too much time left. I'm not quite sure what was left on the clock, but he forced the overtime period and then gets the game winner here this afternoon. Appreciate everybody joining us. Thanks here to the BCTV crew, George Cox on camera and stats. Roger, it was a pleasure to have you here this afternoon.
Thanks for having me.
And the Bulldogs come away with the overtime victory. 10-9 here on a Thursday afternoon with rain and cold weather, but kudos to them. We'll see you next time. Thanks, and have a good afternoon.
Have a good afternoon.